Ok, clase, buenas tardes o buenos días si es la mañana. Y vamos a empezar hoy con ¿cómo estás? So if you'll find this part in your notes, we're going to talk about how to ask how somebody is doing today. We're going to learn how to give goodbyes. Those are kind of our things for our checklist today. All right, so if you'll take out your notes and look at those with me. ¿Cómo estás? We're going to ask how people are doing because that's a good conversation starter, a good thing to add to our conversation, all right, and be able to give a good response, okay? So, ¿cómo estás? And ¿cómo está usted? Or how are you? Right? ¿Cómo estás? Is in the to form, so this is informal. We're going to learn more about that today, but we've talked briefly about that before. Right? ¿Cómo está usted? This word usted is you, but it's the you formal, and we abbreviate it UD. So you'll see either usted in the long form or the UD. So, ¿cómo estás? If you know that person, or if that person is younger than you or your own age. ¿Cómo está usted? If you're greeting me when you're coming into the classroom, or you're asking Mr. Pugh or Mr. Carraher how they're doing. Okay, and we'll talk more about that informal and formal in a minute. Okay, so let's talk about let's pronounce how we say that. ¿Cómo está? And ¿cómo está usted? All right, so repeat after me. ¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo está usted? Okay, muy bien. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo está usted? Okay, some responses to this are bien, gracias. Bien means well, thanks. Okay, gracias means thanks. Sometimes the way that we speak English, we actually speak English incorrectly, and so the ways that we speak English incorrectly actually bleeds over into us speaking Spanish incorrectly. All right. So sometimes we ask each other, "Oh, how are you doing today?" "Oh, I'm good," and I do that too, because we've been taught English not with all the correct grammar. All right, but actually, "How are you doing today?" Should have an answer of "I'm doing well," because that's the adverb. So if this is a little confusing, it's because we don't speak English correctly. All right, so bien is well, gracias. Okay, muy bien. Muy means very. Bien means well, so very well. All right, then we have some other responses because this is the typical response. Oh, bien, gracias, muy bien. Okay, but sometimes you're just not going to be feeling great when you walk into the classroom, so I'd rather you be honest with how you're feeling. So here are some other emotion words, okay, for you to use. Cansado. If you're a boy, you're going to end that word in an O, and if you're a girl, you're going to end that word in an A. Cansado, or if you're a girl, like me, cansada, and this means tired. So, ¿cómo estás? Cansada. Okay, I'm tired. All right. Emocionado. Emocionada if you're a girl. Nado if you're a boy. And you see that word and it's like, oh, there's emotion. Okay, so you're excited. Okay. Oh, yo estoy emocionada. Estoy lista. All right. I'm ready to learn. Okay. Preocupado if you're a boy, or preocupada if you're a girl, is you're worried. Maybe you have a test or something. Oh, yo estoy preocupada, nerviosa. Right? Tengo hambre is literally saying I have hunger. I'm hungry. And tengo sed, I'm thirsty. Literally saying I have thirst. Right? Another response is regular. Well, I'm okay. Regular. Like regular, like fine. Fine, regular. All right. Then there are two questions that we can use that are very informal. So we use them with friends, we use them with people that are younger than us, okay, to ask how they're doing or like what's going on, what's happening. Okay, so ¿qué tal? Is that kind of like what's up? How you doing? What's up? Okay, so very informal. All right, ¿qué pasa? Like is what's happening? What's going on? Okay, so both of these are informal. We don't really use them with like our teachers or our bosses or somebody that has authority over us. All right. A response to ¿qué pasa? Usually when I ask you ¿qué pasa? What's happening? Like nada. Okay, nothing. Okay, nothing's going on. All right. Okay, so that takes care of our asking how we are. Let's go through how to pronounce them. Right? So you repeat after me. Bien, gracias. Muy bien. Excelente. All right, guys, you're gonna end with these words with O. Girls, you're gonna end with A. All right, cansada. Emocionada. Preocupada. Muy bien. Okay. All right. All of us together saying these are the same. Okay, because they're not adjectives. All right. Tengo hambre. Tengo sed. Muy bien. Regular. ¿Qué tal? ¿Qué pasa? Muy bien. Nada. Excelente. Okay. Entonces, tenemos esta parte. We have this part. Okay, let's go down to talking about some goodbyes. Despedidas are goodbyes. Okay. Despedidas. Goodbyes. How to say farewell, goodbye. Okay, and we have lots of different ways to say goodbye, and each one has kind of a different meaning, right? So we need to know kind of different ones. Okay, adios is goodbye. You should be very familiar with that one. All right, nos vemos. Nos vemos is like almost like see you. Okay, nos vemos, see you. It's literally saying we will see each other. Okay, hasta luego. Hasta means until, all right? So until later. Okay, hasta mañana, until tomorrow. Hasta pronto, until soon, or like see you soon, because until soon we don't usually say that. Okay, until soon, but is what it's literally saying. Okay, and one that's popular, another goodbye is ciao. Okay, bye, ciao. Okay, so let's go through how to pronounce them. Right? You'll say them after me. Adios. Nos vemos. Hasta luego. Hasta mañana. Hasta pronto. Ciao. All right? So let's pause here. And we've talked about greetings, and now we're talking about kind of ending that conversation. After we've asked them how they are and said pleased to meet you and goodbye. So let's talk about a little bit of cultural stuff with Latin American greetings and goodbyes and introductory conversations. All right. If you look all around the world, how we say hello is different. There are different hand gestures for how we say hello. All right. Even if I walk upstairs in those hallways and watch you guys greet each other on like a normal school year, your hellos and your hand gestures and what you do is different. So what are some ways that you say hello to a friend or somebody that you're meeting for the very first time? All right, some of you might give a handshake, especially if you're meeting somebody like older than you or showing respect. You might give a handshake. Some of you might high five in the hallway or give a nice, bro hug. Okay. So a lot of times we have different hand gestures, or we even if we're not even touching that person, we'll be like, hey, all right, and we wave and we do all that kind of stuff. All right. Very typically in Latin America, especially among young people, but even among other generations as well, is that when you meet somebody, even for the very first time, or when you're saying hello to somebody, that you give a kiss, okay? In some countries, it's just one cheek, all right? In some countries, it's both cheeks, all right? But a lot of times, when girls say hello to girls, they'll give a kiss on each cheek. Hola. All right? When girls say hello to guys, the same thing. Hola. All right? When guys say hello to guys, they don't do that, all right? They usually give a hug or something like that, but they don't kiss on the cheek, all right? But that's something that you might want to think about, and it's very cultural. So if you see that around you, that's pretty typical. Nobody warned me about that one. When I was a teenager in Ecuador for the very first time, and meeting a guy for the very first time, an Ecuadorian guy for the very first time, and I go in to shake his hand thinking that's it. He comes in for the kiss. I heard my face looked priceless, all right? I was shocked, all right? But we have to be prepared for cultural things like that, and gestures are part of culture and language, actually, all right? So let's talk about goodbyes, all right? A lot of times the goodbye is a lot like the farewell with the kiss on each cheek or the hug, all right? Also, when you are saying goodbye here, maybe you're in a group of people at somebody's house and you're like, bye, and you say bye to everyone and you leave, or you're like, I'm out, and you leave. That is not what you do in Latin America, especially if you're at a family member's house, all right? If you're with your friends, it's not a big deal, but when you're with if you're at your grandmother's house or if you're at a family member's house in Latin America, you have to say goodbye to each person in the room, all right? It may take you an hour to leave that party or to leave that family get together, all right? But that is cultural, that you don't say it to the whole group, is that you would go and say goodbye to each person, all right? So those are things that we need to know when we study language, because we're not just studying the words and the vocab, we're studying a whole culture, and we need to be aware of those things, all right? So let's talk about this cultural element of that's built into the language, that respect that we've talked about briefly, and now we're gonna really take some notes on it. All right? So, tú versus usted. All right, so let's find that part on our notes. And we're gonna make a T-chart here. We have our headings here. We're gonna make our T-chart. All right, the tú is the informal. The usted is the formal. Okay, and up top I want you to write both mean you. Okay, they both mean you. All right, but we have the tú informal, usted formal. So let's take some notes and give you some examples. All right, you would use the tú with your friends. Okay, people you know. Younger people. People you are in charge of. Say you were a manager at your job. You would have, if you had a team under you, okay, then you would talk to them in the tú form, each person in the tú form. All right, and then you refer to your pets in the tú form. Okay, maybe that's a good one that you can practice Spanish with, is your pets. All right, they won't even judge you for the mispronunciation. All right, the usted form is the formal. All right, so this is with people who are older than you. People who are in charge of you. That being like your boss, the principal of your school, your teacher, all right? People who are older, people who are in charge of you. New people that you are just meeting. New people that you are just meeting are in the usted form as well. All right? And that's pretty much our list of formal. If you want to show respect, you're going to use the usted form. In fact, in some cultures, or in some parts of Latin America, you automatically go the usted form, and then as you become closer and you become friends, they may even say to you, oh, puedes tutearme, you can refer to me in the tu form. All right? And it's kind of that, oh, we're close now. Like we know each other. All right? So that respect is built into the language. So if you think about it, when we ask somebody, ¿Cómo te llamas? That's that tu form. So we need to make sure that we're using the right form. ¿Cómo estás? That's that tu form. Okay? If we want to ask somebody their name and they're kind of in the, like not our own age or they're our teacher, ¿Cómo se llama? And ¿Cómo está? How are you doing? All right? So that is built into our language. So let's go down to the practice part on your notes. Okay, I believe this is our first time that we've done some practice together, like this, without just pronouncing. All right, so here's what we are gonna do in the practice is I need you to practice and try some things out on your own and then hear the answers from me to get the feedback. All right, so what you're gonna do is pause your video right now, okay? And on your note sheet, I want you to write either tu or usted for what form of you would use if you were talking to these people. All right, so you're gonna pause the video. Once you've written either tu or usted beside each one, then I want you to play your video again and we'll go over the answers. All right, but make sure that you're taking some time to really try these out. Okay, we're back. Okay, vamos a repasar las respuestas. If we are referring to these people and talking to them, would we talk to them in the tu form or the usted form? Okay, Señor Carraher. See, usted. You could have usted written out or you could have ud. Señor Sheets, Mr. Sheets. Usted. Because you don't know him, and he's old, okay? Your dog Rufus. See, the tu form, pets. Your little sister. See, tu form. Siblings, all that you're familiar with, and they're younger, tu form. Your friend. Muy bien. The tu form. They're your friend, you're close to them. Your teacher. Muy bien. Usted. Excelente. Muy bien. Okay? Remember, if you have questions about tu or usted, you might want to come to Google Meets and ask that. Send me an email, send me a text to remind, and we can talk about that. All right? Okay. Next, a ver, tenemos más práctica. All right, we have some more practice. We have 3 separate conversations that are going on. All right? We have 3 separate conversations that are going on, and what you're going to do is you're going to choose which word or phrase best completes those conversations. So if you want to, if you can use a tool to circle them, or you can use your highlighting tool if you're taking these notes online, all right? Or you could always circle them if you have your paper copy of your notes. All right, so go ahead and pause the video again, try all 3 of these conversations, and then we'll come back and go through all 3 of them together. Okay. En la primera conversación tenemos, hola, sí, ¿cómo te llamas? Yep, we don't want to say goodbye yet. ¿Cómo te llamas? Me llamo Ruben. ¿Y tú? So he flips that question back around and asks, what's his name? Me llamo Antonio. Mucho gusto. Pleased to meet you. Igualmente, Ruben. Igualmente. Muy bien. Okay, we have it. It's 9 in the morning, so we need to keep that in mind. Okay. Buenos días. Ajá, muy bien. You remember that we use good morning. Buenos días. ¿Cómo te llamas? Buenos días. Me llamo Rosalia. ¿Cómo te llamas tú? Me llamo Enrique. All right, let's look at our response. Muy bien, okay? ¿Cómo estás? Would be the great question. ¿Cómo estás, Rosalia? Muy bien, gracias. ¿Y tú? Okay, she flipped this question back around. So only one answer works. Bien. Because encantado is pleased to meet you. But she's asking, how are you? ¿Cómo estás? Okay, bien. Adiós, Enrique. Nos vemos. Excelente. Okay, ahora son las 2. Okay, it's 2 in the afternoon this time. Okay. Buenas tardes, Señor Gomez. Okay. We're going to answer back because it's 2 in the afternoon. Buenas tardes. ¿Cómo te llamas? Me llamo Margarita. Mucho gusto, Margarita. Okay. He just said, pleased to meet you. So Margarita is going to say something back. Encantada. Pleased to meet you as well. And she's a girl, so that's why we have encantada. Adios, Señor Gomez. Okay. Hasta luego. Until later. Okay. Muy bien. Excelente. Okay. Entonces, ¿por qué es miércoles no tenemos remote learning? Because it's Wednesday, we don't have remote learning time today. However, you have assignment to go ahead and do. All right, so down here, you're going to click on this dialogue assignment in Google Classroom, and we just practiced filling in pieces of the dialogue, but you are going to write your own dialogues. You're going to write 2 dialogues, okay? So whenever I have taken language, I've taken Spanish, I've taken Quechua, I've taken Arabic. Every time that I've taken a language, the teacher's assignment for us at the end of the language session or for every night is to go home and take our vocab sheets and write a dialogue. All right? The more you can play around with fitting these words together into a dialogue, the more those words are going to sink in. All right? So try to use several different greetings in your dialogues. Okay? Don't use the same one twice. All right? Try to use a lot of words, a lot of vocab to build these conversations, and I promise you this will stick. Okay? Adios.